Unoilam kalyang Persya kayang dorbar thawan ka Jilla Meghalaya ubalong ru unong mikmat ka All India Trinamool Congress u Dr. Mukul sang ma uloong. Baka Meghalaya kadiban pan wat phakam yagi donkti ha ka jingjia siat bru ha Mukroh West Jantils District na ka Jilla Assam ka belajia ha ka arpo artarek unai wing arjar puar ha ka basan ngot kinong song snong kilayap.
The case is very clear. The law of the land is there. Let them follow the relevant section of the CRPC, IPC and arrest the people who are involved in this killing. And therefore, they must demand Assam to hand over those who are involved in this whole homicide, murder, brutal killing. Talking to MHA, why you need a separate law for this? You don't need a separate law. People who have come there, it's on record. They will be knowing who else are required to know. Both the governments have to, both the law enforcing agencies from both sides have to know. Therefore, where is the need for delay? They must proceed ahead, issue arrest warrants, and ask the Assam government to ensure that the people who are accused in the case are handed over. It's as simple as that. Then the law of the land will take its own course. This particular incident is not triggered by any particular community. Is not triggered by any community from the other side of the interstate border, nor by any community from our side of the border. This particular incident is created because of the government authorities. So I think we should be abundantly clear. Therefore, it's incumbent upon all of us to take the responsibility of ensuring that this any scope of misinformation to create any misunderstanding amongst communities are avoided by all of us. I know today in the era where you have all means of dissemination of information, we will have some freelancers, some adventurism coming from some angles, but I think we need to be vigilant, and I would like the government of the day from both sides to act upon all those type of whatever attempt is made by any quarter to create that kind of rift between communities from the two states.
Uloong magajingja kapajia Mukroh kamday kabami nagajingya pher jat benriun ray kaday nakadaw kajingbam shim kiahi na baro ki arliang kata ka sarkar Meghalaya bat ka sarkar Assam bante lakam ya kijing e. Uloong magijing e kiday gibalak kanton man kasgi hagipat ba nong song snong hakite gijaka kamtam kajingsha banben hakibor ka sarkar Assam bat ka sarkar Meghalaya ru kamshim lashem yagisen jam banyadaya lakipat nong song snong.
The government must direct the authorities concerned to follow up the case if FIR has been lodged and registered and demand that arrests be made. The arrest of those who were responsible for these brutal incidents must be arrested, and government of Assam must hand over those people to the authorities concerned as per the law of the land. Now, another important thing is that we are all responsible citizens. Well, when we talk about responsibility, we also have people, there will be black sheep. We will have to be always vigilant. Have we not run government before? Why is it that every time whenever such incident happens, there is a knee-jerk reaction from the government depriving us of our own rights, shutting down internet, and crippling us from our communication? We have never done it. I have the privilege of not just being the chief minister, but also I have been the minister, then deputy chief minister in charge of home, etc. We have never resorted to this. Even when I had the privilege to lead the government as the chief minister, we never resorted to this. We never deprive our citizens from their rights. Today we know how important the connectivity is, how important internet is, how indispensable this whole communication network has become. Rather, I will say that communication network has become an integral part of each and every one of us, our life. So therefore, this only shows that this government has no wherewithal to understand and comprehend as to how to deal with this situation. And in the process, what is happening is that they are only escalating the situation. The capability of the government to segregate between the lawbreakers and the law-abiding citizen is their responsibility. Whose responsibility it is? Just because there are bound to be some elements who will obviously resort to certain amount of lawlessness. What about the law-abiding citizens? Majority of the law-abiding citizens are affected. That is not the way of dealing with this kind of crisis. Therefore, I condemn this attitude of the government for depriving the rights of the citizens, and they should immediately restore internet. They should immediately enable us to, somehow carry on our daily course without being suppressed or oppressed by this kind of interventions. There are provisions under the law, but this is not a situation which demands for this. And not only this, how is it that Assam government resorts to telling the people that don't go to Meghalaya? Why don't they talk to each other? Assam and Meghalaya government, they should talk to each other and ensure that there is no chances of breakdown of law and order. I didn't see any endeavor, rather the honest effort from both the authorities, Assam and the Meghalaya counterpart. They have an easy solution: shut down the internet, make people stay indoors, nothing else. This is not the way to deal with this situation. And in the process, what is happening? There is a misinformation campaign going on, that as though this whole incident has taken place because of the hatred between different communities, which is not correct. There is no fight between the Khasis and Assamese. There is no fight between the communities of Meghalaya and the other rest of the communities on the other side of the border. But both the governments are creating this perception, which is wrong. The peace and tranquility must prevail. And how to really maintain this peace and tranquility is the responsibility of the government. So I condemn the attitude of both the government. It is not the way to deal with the situation. It is only sending wrong signals and defaming the states, defaming the region, to restore this name and fame and the reputation and the brand that we have built over the years. How many years it's going to take? We are being pushed behind. You see, it's very important as to what type of perception we want to create for the rest of the world. Why are we then spending so much of money to brand build the state? Because there's a reason, there's a need. But today, these irresponsible leaders don't look at the fallout of whatever action they are resorting to just to deal with the situation. A situation which has been created by the governments themselves, not by the people. They must apologize to the people of the state, people of the region, and apologize to all the people who are affected by this inept action of the government, rather inept reaction of the government. It's not an action at all. It's a reaction. It's a knee-jerk reaction.
Halor ke jingpen sange eka let ka wan bat ka internet uloong bakini ki ar sarkar ki wan ra eka nuksa ka basniu banyalam baklai ki pajba bat yo I kata ka jingesh rot habreng ki jat ben rio bat ka jing shisha ki ar sarkar ki dei banyakran ban weng ye ki jing uloong bagi pajba ki pensngau ba imat ka kamsngan ka basong basa ha ki khapot Bangladesh ban ha khapot asam namar ka jing tieng ye ki bor sarkar.
Another important thing I would like to share with you, which disturbed me immensely, is that they compare the life of the people residing in the villages bordering international border, Bangladesh. They say that now it appears that living in the villages along international border is safer than living in the villages along the interstate border between Assam and Meghalaya. You look at the perception. How do you draw a conclusion out of this narrative that it's coming from their mouth? Is it not a kind of information that you don't want to hear actually. If our people who are residing in the villages along Assam Meghalaya border are feeling this and have reasons to feel that the people who are staying in Assam, Indo-Bangla border are safer than them, then who are they scared of? Are they scared of militants? Are they scared of terrorists? No. They are scared of the government authorities. What can be more disturbing and painful than this kind of information to us? Therefore, there is a need for both the governments to come clean. Why Meghalaya government is allowing them to continue with all this kind of harassment and atrocities over our people with complete impunity? Why are they being allowed? Is it only because the government is installed by the people who are in power and running the show from Assam? I think there are lots of answers we have to see. But then the fact is that the perception that is prevailing in the minds of the people is very disturbing, and we must look for course correction.